Is it possible for Israel to pressure Hamas in light of the ongoing ceasefire, which is already going through phases and and there are negotiations going on in Qatar now in Doha, and all of this taking place? And is it possible for Israel to take all the actions it's taking against the Palestinians, which is named genocide and atrocities, sir, at this point, and under pressure in this holy month of Ramadan? And the international community, entire world is watching what's happening to the Palestinians. Is this normal, sir?
I think the Israeli, as you know, they treated even to try to even to return back to the war. This is one thing, and also now they are, that's even killing the people. Three brothers have been killed yesterday in Gaza, and also about 37 have been injured. They are bombing Gaza in Shujaiya, Abasan. So this is one thing. The other thing is by even they are using the tool of cutting the water, the electricity, all the food, and closing the borders, the crossing borders. Israeli also try to push in Hamas in order that Hamas will give up, or they will give on some, demands, or to release the hostages. But I think Hamas will not
Okay,
go
sir,
ahead
I'll
with
leave
this.
you there and I'll be back again. Dr. Osman, a very warm welcome and good morning, sir. Sir, given the current humanitarian crisis in Gaza, where over 90% of the population cannot access water, how do you see the long-term political implications if Israel continues to block vital supplies and restrict aid entry despite the ongoing ceasefire, sir?
Good morning, Rana. Thank you for having me, and greetings to you and Dr. Abdul Nasser and to your dear viewers. Indeed, what we are seeing now in Gaza is a protracted, very deep humanitarian crisis. It is basically the essence of what a humanitarian crisis can be, and a man-made humanitarian crisis, nonetheless, because this is the working of the Israeli occupation entity. They are the ones who are imposing these dire humanitarian conditions by completely isolating the Gaza Strip from the wider world and depriving 2 million people who had to endure 15 months of genocidal warfare of their basic necessities, depriving them of food, of water, of medicine, of humanitarian supplies, of basically the means of basic sustenance. In addition to that, they also cut the electricity to the Gaza Strip, which even makes the humanitarian crisis more compounded. Of course, these moves by the Israelis are politically motivated, meaning that they intend to use the humanitarian card as a means of pressure on Hamas and on the Palestinian people.
Here comes my question again, Dr. Osman. Is this okay? Is this normal, sir? People are dying. There are genocide, there are atrocities. There are children, sir, that are malnutrition. There are freezing situation and people in the streets. Is this okay with the international community and with everywhere that's taking place? People being killed now. Ceasefire. No one is giving negotiations in Qatar are not going on. They're going on, and despite all of this, sir, Israel is defying the entire world.
Of course, it's not okay. It's a war crime. What the Israelis are doing, it's a war crime, and it's a crime against humanity. It's a violation of international humanitarian law, and the international community can stomp and yell and shout and complain and condemn even Israel's behavior, and that many countries have done. But this is about what they can do, because as long as the United States provides Israel with the political cover and the immunity and impunity that it provides it in the United Nations, in international courts, in order to ensure that Israel will never be held accountable. Of course, that's at the end of the day, Israel will get away with whatever it does. And it seems that this weaponization of aid by the Israelis aims to for Israel to find ways not to abide or honor their part of the ceasefire and detainee exchange agreement. We have an agreement in place that is composed of 3 phases. Phase 1 has succeeded, no matter how flawed it succeeded, and it has ended. Now they are stalling negotiations for phase 2 because they do not want a definitive end to the war. They just want to use this ceasefire agreement as a temporary truce in order to secure the release of the remaining detainees in Gaza, about 59 of them, 24 alive, the rest are dead. They want to secure at least the living ones, or at least as much alive detainees as they can before they can resume their genocidal endeavors. Egypt has proposed, and the Arab world, now it's an Arab plan, has proposed a reconstruction plan for Gaza, which has been adopted and endorsed by the Arab League, and now is being even supported by the European Union and China and many other countries around the world, and of course the majority of African countries. Yet, even though the international community supports this plan, the United States is giving mixed signals. Sometimes they say they reject it, like what the White House said, and then Steve Witkoff comes out and says, "Oh, it's a good idea that is worthy of discussion." And of course, Israel has flatly rejected it. And the only way to change or veer off the conversation of the idea of reconstruction and permanent peace is through pushing us to discussing the humanitarian issue by imposing a humanitarian